It was going on YouTube. It's Kane loaded here, and this is probably my most controversial video that I have made yet. I've been planning this for a while. I've been planning this for a minute. We finally here with it. 300 Blackout is overrated. It's an overrated round, and I'm going to explain 6 reasons why. Let's get into it. Number one of the big reasons, price. It's a pricey round. It's not the most expensive round, but in comparison to the 5.56, it's way more expensive than the 5.56. I want to be comparing it to the 5.56. I understand people bring up that there are 2 different cartridges, but in terms of home defense, those are the 2 main cartridges. So that's what I'm going to compare. I don't care what you think. I don't care. That's what I'm going to compare. If you go to the range and you're shooting 80 to 100 rounds a session, you're shooting at least going to the range 3 times a month, you're going to be spending anywhere from $200 to $300, maybe $330 a month for 300 Blackout. Compared to a 5.56, you're probably looking at $120 to $180. I don't know about you, but that's a pretty big difference to me. The average working civilian, some people just cannot afford that out of a cartridge to where it's just so expensive to get into. Because I tell people all the time, if you're not getting a suppressor, what's the point of doing a Blackout? You know what I'm saying? Supersonic, you're looking at a 7.62. That's basically what that is, the same performance on a ballistics, scale. If you're not getting a suppressor, you might as well go 7.62. It's a cheaper round. I mean, that's just what it is. It's a whole $1 more than you getting, compared to you getting a, M855 green tip. I just don't see the price. I don't see the value that you're getting out with paying that much money for a 300 Blackout round. It's just too expensive of a round. 2, limited range. And I know this is kind of goes with home defense. I understand with the limited range, 2 to 300 yards. That's definitely all you need in terms of home defense. 300 Blackout excels at that. I will give them that. If you look at it, it's not more versatile than a 5.56. It's not a more versatile round. By it not being as versatile as a 5.56, and the 5.56 is significantly cheaper, 5.56 wins. It's a more versatile round. I understand people go hog hunting and all of that with the 300 Blackout. I see that a lot. I don't live on a farm. I don't have crops to protect or anything like that. And and most people don't. So when that realm 5.56 wins again, the price just doesn't reflect on that end either. It's not more versatile than the 5.56. 3, ammo selection can be confusing. Subsonic, supersonic, it can confuse people. Subsonic is for suppressors. It is an extremely quiet round, and I might add another reason why I don't think a gun should be too quiet for home defense, especially if you have others that live with you. But in terms of supersonic, again, it's the same ballistic performance as a 7.62. You might as well go that route. It's people that have mistakenly put supersonic with a suppressor that don't work. You got reputable YouTubers like Honest Outlaw that talked about why he, is done with 300 Blackout. Almost every experience he's had, and he's shot way more rounds than I have, and he's way more experienced than me. He talked about how it's not that reliable. And with the suppressor, I looked up, you have to do certain suppressor settings. I'm guessing it's on a numerical scale that affects the reliability of the rifle, the cartridge performance with the rifle and the suppressor. Is just too much for me. It's too much for me. I look at it like, a gun is a tool, right? This is a tool. You treat this tool as such, and in terms of me having to protect my home and myself, or if you have family, you want to just pick this up and use it. You don't want to have to worry about, hold on, let me make sure this is set at the right number, and let me make sure I'm using the right cartridge, and let me just, no, I want to be able to pick this gun up and use it when it's time to use it. I don't want to have to worry about reliability. And with the 5.56, you don't really have to worry about that. Not like a 300 Blackout. And that's where 5.56 wins with that one, in my opinion. 4, the short barrel height, it don't really swim in my pond, because I don't feel like you should go no further than 10.5 inches for a 5.56 or 300 Blackout. Like I said, I'm a pretty tall dude. I got long arm, a 7.5 inch AR pistol in any caliber, it's not gonna be comfortable for me. You do good with 7.5 inches and you like them short, barrel rifles, that's cool. Kudos to you, but not for me. 5, the suppressor argument don't really work with everyone. I am rebellious against the ATF and the way that they do things, and I do not agree at all with the NFA and the way that they do things with the suppressors. I'm not giving nobody my thumbprint. I'm not signing any more papers. We sign enough papers when we go buy a gun, or we go to our FFL after we order the gun online, having to go fill out them papers every single time. It's already enough. We already give them enough. They run a background check on us. It's already enough things that we do. Why do we have to do extra things for a suppressor? And statistically, if you look at it, crimes aren't even committed with suppressors. You having way more gunfire unsuppressed than there are suppressed. At what point is it even necessary? It's way easier to just get a gun off the street than it is to get a gun and get a suppressor off the street. With a suppressor, you gotta fill out more paperwork. You gotta do more things. You gotta give them your thumbprint. It's just way more work. This is basically just throwing one in there. I thought about this mid-video. Subsonic and suppressors. It creates little to no noise. I've heard very quiet 300 blackouts, and people talk about having them for home defense. I'm gonna tell you my pushback on that. I don't believe in having a gun that quiet in the house if you have children in there, any other family members in there with you, because I feel like some noise would tell people to back off away from wherever area that you're at. If no one can really hear what's going on in your house, because I've heard 300 blackouts, and I mean, they shoot them things and they're like, sounding like, they make a noise like, pew, pew, pew. Like, it definitely don't sound like a gunshot. I don't think it's not loud enough to let anybody know where you are in the house, what position that you're at in the house. It's so quiet, the average person, they're not going to know that that's a gunshot. They're not going to know that that's a gun discharging because it's so quiet. You're not really going to know what that is. Some people might wonder and be curious about what's making that noise and come out and they are in the way of gunfire. 6, the 5.56 is just more convenient, like I said, of course, and it can basically do whatever you want it to do, just as good as the 300 Blackout, if not better, just including the price. Price-wise, you can train with it more. It's cheaper to train with, a better track record than 300 Blackout. Army, military, don't matter, they use the cartridge. In my opinion, it's just a better round than 300 Blackout. I feel like with buying 5.56, you can get more out of the cartridge. You want to suppress it, which is the only reason people will bring up. You can suppress it. Yes, it won't be as quiet as a 300 Blackout, but again, I don't believe in having a gun that quiet. I feel like you want to be able to allow your neighbors to hear gunfire and call the police. And I'm speaking on this a lot because, again, that's the only reason why you use a 300 Blackout, is for that reason. For the subsonic, for the suppressor. I would say this, I will, push somebody, if they want a 300 Blackout, I will push somebody to get a PCC, get a 40 cal, but I just feel like it's a very expensive round to get into. If you have the money and you want to do it, go do it. But I'm speaking for the average or the regular civilian, especially with today's economy. Even when I built this rifle, pretty sure y'all pretty familiar with this. Even when I built this rifle, I was starting to look into, should I make this 300 Blackout? I said no. I'm going to go 5.56 because of the same reasons that I mentioned in this video. So if you don't agree with any of these things I said, which is I find it hard to not agree with any, but if you have some pushback for what I said in this video, you can let me know in the comments and we can talk about it in the comments. I am open. I am free to debate. But like I say, again, this is my opinion. This is what I think about the cartridge, and I think it's a overrated cartridge. I don't really think there's anything that will change my mind on that. But we can debate. I'm free to hear y'all ideas and what y'all think. So it's your boy Kane Loaded, man, and I'm out. Peace.